Welcome to Cross Border Interviews. This is the show where we dive into the insights of municipal political leaders from across Canada. And our mission on the show is very simple. It is to shine a light on the dedicated individuals who work around the council table, who shape the communities that we and they call home. And on this edition of the show, we are starting a journey. We are starting a journey that started last week at the 2025 Union of BC Municipalities Convention, where the UBCM brought together delegates from every corner of the province, and we were there. And among the delegates that we spoke to and that start this journey into the UBCM convention is West Kelowna Mayor Gord MIlsom. Across Canada, our cities, towns, villages, and rural communities are alive with stories waiting to be told. Stories of innovation and economic development, resilience in the face of the housing challenges, and the financial hurdles municipalities overcome every day. At the Cross Border Network, we bring these stories to life. From coast to coast to coast, we're connecting Canadians to the issues shaping our communities and showcasing the people working tirelessly to make them thrive. With your support, we can expand our reach, amplify more voices, and shine a light on the challenges and triumphs of municipal life. For as little as $3.99 a month, you can help us grow and continue sharing the stories that matter most. Join us today and be part of this important mission. Together, we can tell more stories, build stronger communities, and make a real difference. Support the Cross Border Network now. Visit www.crossborderinterviews.ca today.
Gord, thank you so much for chatting with me in beautiful Victoria. Before we get to why you're here and what you're doing in beautiful Victoria for UBCM, gotta ask a simple question. Where's your sense of duty to serve your community come from, Gord?
Well, I guess first of all, I really believe that there's a core element of within human beings of just wanting to help other people.
Yeah.
So it's just not me. It's within yourself with many other people. And aside from that, I guess I grew up in a family that volunteered a lot. My dad was a city councilor and volunteered a lot. My mom volunteered, so we gave back as a family.
So you wanted to follow in Dad's footsteps?
Well, I did. It was a natural thing to do. And then, before getting involved in politics, I was a councilor when we first incorporated in 2007. I was president of the Rotary Club. I was on the board for the food bank. I'm involved in other organizations. I was president of minor hockey on the west side. So I just believe in community. I think giving back, and that's what it's all about, right?
I can imagine. Before we turn again to UBCM, I can imagine there's a lot of challenges facing West Kelowna right now. And you as council, as mayor, have to look at the bigger picture.
That's right.
As West Kelowna as a whole.
Yeah.
How do you balance the needs of the community against the needs of the individual in your manner? Because I can imagine if I go talk to 100 people in West Kelowna, they're going to have 100 different issues that they're faced with. Yeah. As mayor, you have to look at the macro lens of all the issues. How do you do that?
Well, each beginning of each term, and actually it's reviewed each year, is we set priorities for council for that year, for that term. So it's critical that we, as a council, get input from the community and from others, and sort of list what's the top priorities we want to achieve. And for me, I focus on those. I mean, there's always things.
Are
that
people
come up.
engaged?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Geez, we actually.
I love that.
Yeah, UBCM. We won one of the governance awards through UBCM. I think it was 2-3 years ago, and it was for our visioning exercise. Before we updated our official community plan, we had a visioning exercise with our community, and we created the visioning document that sort of helped set the stage for
strategic plan, strategic priorities.
So we try to engage our community as much as possible. I get out a lot, a lot of events, and I have the opportunity to speak to our residents on a regular basis. Same with council. We're quite engaged. We're in that way.
So on the flip side, while they might be engaged, are they engaged in the municipal jurisdictional role? Because You are the closest to the people. You don't come to Victoria to do your job. You don't go to Ottawa to do your job. You are in your community.
Yeah.
But residents see you and say, I have an issue about healthcare. Municipalities don't play a role in healthcare. Yes, they are trying to help fix it, but that's not their jurisdictional purview. Do you get a sense that people understand what the municipality can help them with, so they go to their MLA or their MP if they have provincial or federal issues? Or are you hearing a range of gambit of issues?
Yeah, I guess we do hear a range. You know, we just built our new city hall,
Yep.
and fortunately, there's the MP and MLA rent space for us.
Oh, there
so,
you go.
So you know, it's great. So
Go down the hall,
yeah,
right?
Well, in a way, because people do get confused.
Yeah.
You know, so if they come and see the MLA, and really they're talking about their old age security payments, well, yeah, he can say, go next door to talk to the MP. So that does help, but anyway.
Are you okay with helping try and find the answers to people who have provincial or federal issues?
Well, on a larger scale,
Yeah.
okay, if there's individual questions, it's probably best that it be dealt with
But
through
if they
their
say,
offices.
what's going on with the healthcare system?
Yeah.
And Gord, we need to fix it.
It's important for us.
Yeah.
For example, we didn't have an urgent primary care center on the west side. We didn't.
Okay.
But what we did is we have a good relationship with Interior Health, so we worked with Interior Health, and we now and the Ministry of Health, and we have an urgent primary care center. It's been in place now for, I guess, about 4 years. So you know, we went to bat for our community, and so it's all about collaboration, right? And we're going to be doing the same thing with mental health services in the west side. We don't have a permanent facility. We don't have enough services, so we're working with Interior Health and the Ministry of Health to make that happen.
Collaboration is a key word, right?
It's huge.
So
it is, Chris.
I want to turn to why you're here at UBCM today.
Yeah.
So you've been here for the last, I'm assuming, 3 or 4 days, depending on what time you actually got into Victoria.
Yes.
What brings West Kelowna to an event like UBCM? What are the issues you're advocating for in your community at this convention this year?
Well, we have 5 ministerial meetings, so one remaining. We've had 4 already. So one of the keys, as I already mentioned, is mental health. You know, the lack of services on the west side, the greater west side. You know, we have about 70,000 people that live on the west side, West Kelowna, West Bank First Nations, Peachland, and we don't have a mental health facility or services aside from outreach services that are kind of sporadic and the fact is, with 70,000 people, there's a lot of folks that do need some assistance, right? Apparently, it's 1 in 5 that have mental health issues, be it depression, eating disorders, whatever it may be. So we need to have those services readily available on the west side. So that was one meeting we had. We met with the housing minister, and we needed help eliminating some red tape in
that magic word. That magic word, red tape there.
Well, we have a couple of municipal owned properties that we want to work with nonprofit organizations and BC Housing. But there was some red tape, so we worked together to identify some solutions to deal with that. Now,
so can I ask the political question to the political politician in the interview here?
Yeah.
I can imagine the talk is one thing, but action is something completely different.
Yes.
Let's talk about healthcare. Let's talk about housing for a second. Housing needs to be built.
Yes.
And it needs to be built 10 years ago.
Yeah.
For today. But we're not there. What do you get from an event like this that you can go back to West Kelowna and say, okay, here's the tangible actions that we can now move forward on, or here's where we can start looking at to ensure that housing does become a priority and something that we fix in the next year, 2 years, 5 years down the line? Because I can imagine just sitting here and talking is one thing, but action is what people want. What's the action that you're going to be bringing forward?
Well, with regards to housing, there's a shortage of affordable housing, particularly for seniors and low-income families. We only have about 114 units, dedicated, subsidized housing for seniors on the west side. Penticton and Vernon each have over 2,000 units. So
I was like, that's really low.
Extremely low. So we have a couple opportunities that we're working on, and as far as adding between the two of them, approximately 150 new units, and so what we discussed this with the ministry, and we just needed some help to redo some Crown grant applications, okay, because there was some reverter clauses, a little technical.
Yeah.
Anyways, they've agreed to
The fun
help
stuff, as I like to call it, technical
but
stuff.
They said, okay, what you're proposing makes sense. Okay, so that was good. So we're going to move. We have their continued support. And Chris, these meetings, as you know, they're only 15 minutes long, but throughout the year, our staff are meeting with their staff. As politicians, we're also talking to the ministry throughout the year. So it's just one step along the way. But at our meetings this week, we've been able to get further sort of like agreement to move ahead, and that's really positive. But it's not because we're there just for 15 minutes. It's work that's been done over the last year, two or three.
So what goes on then after this event? Because I can imagine you want to get your staff to follow up with meetings that you've had.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming they might be, I know you should never assume, but I would imagine that some of your staff are in these meetings as well and having these conversations when the politicians are there as well, right?
Oh, 100%. Our CAO is at all the meetings. So at the end of the meeting, the question is, okay, well, what's the next step? Who follows up? Who should be in contact? So it's okay. Contact Ron Bowles, our CAO.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, so that's where the connection is. So you don't leave the meeting with loose ends. You have some concrete steps established.
Do you find your role to put a little pressure on the province as well to ensure that what was discussed is being talked about and being dealt with? Because your CEO is going to do that as well, but also from a political standpoint, from your perspective as the leader of council, as the head of your community, you have to be there and you have to actually put your little thumb on the scale and say, okay guys, you promised this to us, we want action, we want to see that action, so you better be delivering it to us.
You better believe it. I guess this is probably maybe my 12th or 13th, maybe it was my 14th UBCM conference. And I've been meeting with some of these ministers. You get to know them fairly well, even though sometimes they change portfolios. But I remember, and yes, and I informed them too. If we've been advocating, let's say, for a second power line or more police officers and a real detachment on an area, I remind them the number of times that we're actually sitting across from them. But we do follow up. Again, it's part of our strategic focus. So we're here following up on the priorities for our community, and we're not gonna give up on them. Yeah.
So the one that you first started with, and I'll get back to some of the other challenges if you don't mind, but you said mental health and addiction.
Yes.
Now this is not just a West Kelowna issue. It is a BC issue. It is a Canadian issue. It is a global issue right now. Now, the solution is going to come. The solution is coming. We just have to wait. But we can't wait long because people are asking for help now.
Yes.
What do you see as the role of the municipality in addressing this issue locally right now, right here? Because I can imagine you're hearing from residents, you want this to be fixed.
Yeah.
Province has to wait. You'll have to wait for the province to get in gear and do what they need to do. What do you see as your role as mayor and council in addressing this issue at the local level right now?
Well, on the local level, when I mention that we're actually short mental health facilities and services, I'm referring for the general public.
Yeah.
Okay, all ages.
Yeah.
And so there is some specific needs, certainly for the folks that are homeless. And in our community, we're probably looking at about 100 people that are living rough, and they have different issues, mental health issues, substance use issues. We're supporting the local mayors in the Okanagan, supporting mandatory compassionate care for those individuals that can't make decisions, for their own safety and safety of others. Let's ensure they get treatment. But we work well with our bylaw. We work well with the RCMP. There's a ending homelessness on the West Side Committee, where a lot of nonprofits are get together and try to help out as much as they can. So we're doing what we can, as a municipality. We don't have the expertise in those areas. We don't have a lot of funding in those areas, but what we're advocating for in this meeting was services for the general public, mental health services, okay, where there is a big need.
Yeah.
So Apparently, there's 1 in 5, as mentioned, that have mental health issues. 60,000 divided by 5 is 12,000 people may have an issue. So we don't want them necessarily go for be on a waiting list for services in Kelowna, or figure out how to get across the bridge to get services when they need them right away.
So mental health.
Yeah.
Just housing.
Housing.
What are the other issues that you were here chatting about? What was the other big one that you were talking about? Let's talk about the three.
A big one is in the central Okanagan. There's a process underway right now where there's a de-regionalization of the policing services.
Yep.
Kelowna is going in their own way. The RCMP in Kelowna are moving fairly quickly. And so on the west side, we're looked at, I guess they're expecting that we get together, the Peachland, West Kelowna, Westbank First Nations, and form our own integrated detachment. But in order for our council to approve such a step, we have to understand, how things are going to operate, what the costs are going to be. And also, we know that the rural detachment that serves Westbank First Nations and part of the regional district is under-serviced by 7 or 8 members. So, yeah, when we signed our policing agreement in 2009, there were 20 members on the rural detachment, and there was 21 members on the municipal side that our taxpayers pay. Since then, we've added 19 new members. So we're up to 40. On the provincial side, they only have added 1 over that time frame. So we've been advocating for years, but it's important. We'll pay our fair share with this new arrangement, but the province has to pay their fair share too. It's not right that they're under-servicing areas like Westbank First Nations. It's not good for that organization, and the First Nations, they're very successful as a commercial properties that demand a lot of policing. So that's an area that we really zeroed in on.
Do you think they heard you?
Oh, very much so.
Really?
Yeah, we had a separate meeting, staff to staff with the RCMP, and there'll be a meeting coming shortly with senior management from the province, RCMP, West Kelowna, and also Westbank First Nations, Peachland will be at the table too. So that's happening. We need a plan. Otherwise, we're not not moving forward.
Because we saw what happened in Surrey, and I'm assuming you don't want that to happen in West Kelowna with what happens, who do we transition to, or do we stay with what we have right now? So I can imagine it's challenging.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we want to
I know
make sure
it's
fair.
a macro lens because you're not transitioning. The regional approach is getting taken away, and you're getting sort of not forced, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So anyways, that was really positive. It was disappointing that we didn't get approval for or funding for new members on the rural side.
Yeah.
But hopefully that will come.
But do you consider yourself rural? I know you're.
No.
I know, but when you're looking at the policing, it's the rural landscape as well because First Nations is there. But
but it's wrong. See, Westbank First Nations. There's not only the members of Westbank First Nations. There's about 13,000 non-members of Westbank First Nations living on their land. They're very successful. So we're not rural. We have 70,000 people on the west side. It's not rural. It's very dynamic, not within our community, but also what they call the Kelowna Rural Detachment. It's urban.
Yeah.
It's urban.
It's urban, true. And I just wanted to make sure because you said rural. I'm like,
well, they call that rural.
Yeah.
And we have to remind the province and the RCMP that.
So were you happy with the announcement yesterday with Minister Anderson standing up on the podium saying that this government's going to look at what is truly rural, what is truly urban, because the definition is so vast and so diverse depending on which ministry you talk to?
Yeah, I wasn't at that meeting, but to me it makes common sense.
Yeah.
Figure it out. I mean, come on, it can't be that complicated.
Common sense is often easy, but always hard.
Yeah, it can't be that complicated.
So I want to turn to the last segment because I'm cautious of time because I know you have some policy resolutions you're about to head into and debate. What is the benefit for yourself as mayor to be at an event like UBCM?
Well, certainly.
Besides the advocacy.
Well, the advocacy is huge. Aside from that is networking. Speaking with other mayors and councillors. How are things going in their municipality? Just having those conversations, that's really big. If I can get to an educational session, that's a good thing. But I must admit, I've been as spokesman for my community, there's a lot of preparation in advance of our meetings with the minister. So I wish I had more time to participate in some of the workshops.
Well, you've been here for 12 years, man.
Yeah,
I can imagine you've been to all of them.
Yeah, and all of our councils here, so they're also, we kind of cover off as much as we can as far as attending events that are in place. But there's so much going on, so it's a matter of, I guess for me, I really do focus. So when I'm preparing to come here, it really was getting ready for these critical meetings so we can move forward, in a good way on these issues. Some of them, there's other issues we haven't talked about that we're dealing with the
Like
ministry.
What?
Transportation, for example.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that something that's coming up more and more that I talk to more outside more in Lower Mainland?
Well, because of the growth in the area, there's the amount of traffic on Highway 97 leading into Kelowna and coming out is huge. So the Ministry of Transportation has been working on the design work to eliminate 2 lights at Boucher and Westlake, which are busy intersections. So for safety reasons, flow of traffic is really critical. And then there's other improvements along Highway 97 that are necessary. But also our bridge, the congestion on the bridge has been significant, and it's continued to grow as our population grows. There's 250,000 people now living in the central Okanagan now, so it's just going to get worse. So we had conversations about, well, when are you going to think about adding another lane to the bridge, or maybe a counterflow lane? So these things are really important, as far as
the growth
regional,
of your community.
the growth of, and sometimes the province takes a long time to move on things. Often that's the case. So part of our role is to help make sure that they're moving, in a good way.
We are talking about transportation a lot right now, whether that be public transportation or just transportation as the infrastructure transportation. You seem to be more looking at the infrastructure transportation, widening of roads, making sure that people have access to safe roads.
Yeah.
Most roads, I often hear that municipalities have 60% of the infrastructure in all of Canada. That's what they're responsible for. Roads is one of the things that you're responsible for, except the highways. The provincial highways, that's where they have to play. What can the province do today, right now, to fix the transportation issues in West Kelowna that would make you go, you know what, we've got a good first step and they've heard us?
Expediting the work that's underway right now.
Okay.
Moving forward, completing the design work, getting the funding, starting construction on some of those key intersections is important. And tied in with the improvements to the bridge is adding an HOV lane for transit, for bus, and that's our key spine for our transit system is the rapid bus system from Westbank Center, through the Kelowna, through the University of UBC Okanagan. So it's all tied together. So we just need to have action. There's a lot of money being spent in other areas like the Lower Mainland, even here close to Victoria. You can see it when you come in from the ferry. We want some money spent in the Okanagan.
Do you feel forgotten? Because it seems like there are a lot of issues going on and the process is taking a long time.
Yeah.
Do you often feel like you're the forgotten area of the province and sometimes you're getting overlooked?
Yeah, 114 subsidized homes for seniors, not enough. We need some more investment by BCS.
More investment into transportation.
Yeah. We have a target to beat as far as new housing over the next 5 years. I think it's about 2,300 units, which we'll make. But what about our infrastructure needs to help facilitate, attract development? Where's that money? We're kind of forgotten. The rural police, come on. Everyone agrees that we need more policing on the rural side of the detachment. We're forgotten that right now. Transportation, okay, plans are in place, but
plans are nothing if they sit on the shelf.
Where's the construction? We need a second transmission line, power line. Right now, there's one line from Merritt to West Kelowna. It serves 70,000 people. And what happens if there's a wildfire? It takes that line out. It's disastrous for business and
community.
And, so we've been advocating since we've been incorporated in 2007 for another line. Okay, they're moving along, but sometimes you feel that we're forgotten.
Do you feel like you're hitting your head? Because I know since 2007, and I apologize to interrupt, but you've been coming to here for 12 years. I can imagine the first year that you came here, you're talking about the same issues right now that we could transpose this conversation 12 years ago to today. Would that be a true statement?
Not really.
Really?
I mean, there's some issues that take a long time, but along the way, we got a new water treatment plant.
Okay.
We got $41 million of grant funding to help build a $75 million plant. We have our urgent primary care center built. Just two examples of some key infrastructure that we've accomplished. So, you know, we've got there here. It's difficult sometimes dealing. There's challenges dealing with the provincial government, but it's a long-term process.
It's not a night and day.
Yeah, our community's grown significantly, and we have got some monies. We got a grant from the province, the federal government. Where we got the Housing Accelerator Fund monies from them. So we are getting some assistance. We're not completely forgotten because it's hard. You know, we make sure that
you're
know
heard,
that we're
but
here. Yeah. So there have been some wins along the way, for sure. But even within our municipality, we've done a lot, but we continue to ask for support because hey, we only have our taxpayers' dollars and DCCs that we collect from the development industry. But it costs a lot of money to make improvements for infrastructure, particularly with a young municipality. When we incorporated back in 2007, we got about $25 million from the government at that time. We should have got a lot more. We should have got $50 million at least.
We always want more, Gord.
Well, the thing is, we were all new. Yeah. We didn't really know how much work had to be involved, how much it costs. But now we realize,
So my final question for you, and if you've listened to the show, which you said you have, you know what it is. What makes West Kelowna such a unique place to live, work, and raise a family, Gord? Mayor?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's probably our unique neighborhood. It's like you get that, you still have, we talked about rural versus urban. We are an urban community, but you have that still sophisticated rural feel. You know, we have probably the most popular wine route in the country. We got the lake. The vistas are incredible. It's really a gorgeous place to live, and it's a tremendous place to be. And we're gonna grow, but it's gonna be in our urban centers, our downtown centers. But we're gonna preserve our beautiful neighborhoods that are surrounded by vineyards and the hillside. So it's just.
If I was a drinking man, I would not be able to move to West Kelowna, I feel. Gord, Mayor, thank you so much for doing this. This has been an honest-to-goodness pleasure. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris, for having me on your show.
Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Cross Border Interviews. Now, we hope you've enjoyed the conversation and gained some valuable insights from the most recent Union of British Columbia Municipalities Convention in beautiful downtown Victoria, BC, and from today's guests. To stay in the loop with all the latest episodes, don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform, or if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button today. Now, for even more content and learn more about the people and the communities that we feature on this show and our sister shows, visit us online at crossbordernetwork.ca. Your support means the world to us. So share this episode with your friends, your family, and yes, even your community, and help keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and we will be back with a brand new episode of Cross Border Interviews shortly. Till then, everyone.